Friends, today we're in Dublin. I'm Brian, and I'm figuring out how to live my best life after 50 through travel, new cultures, and experiences that change me a little every time. And I want you to come along for the journey. Coming up in this episode. Now, Dublin seems to be pretty much a tale of two cities. On one hand, you got a city that's growing, hustling, bustling. I mean, it could be a page out of New York City or Chicago in the States. And on the other side, you got these cobblestone walkways where you have your mom and pop pubs, local drinkeries and eateries. It is definitely a city at war with itself. Is the big city going to win out, or the small town city vibe going to win out? My immediate thought, the big city is going to win. It definitely feels like a big city. That little quaint charm is good on one or two streets, but overall, definitely big city vibes here. No matter where you are in the world, what country you're in, if you see a place called the Temple Bar, don't think about it, just go into it. It's promised to be a good time. All right, before we go any further, I have some exciting news for you. The Life with Brian website is now live. I built it as a home base for our community and a place where you can explore even more beyond the videos. You'll find an About Me page, fun travel photos from my adventures around the world, some of the channel's most popular videos, and helpful resources like my free travel checklists. Also, be sure to grab your copy of my free travel guide. It's packed with tips, lessons, and things I wish someone had told me before I started traveling again after 50. More than that, it's your personal call to action. A reminder that it's never too late to start traveling, trying something new, and creating memories that will stay with you for the rest of your life. So drop by lifewithbrian.com and take a look around. Hopefully it'll help inspire you on your next adventure. All right, friends, so for this series, we're doing something a little bit different. Instead of going to all the different shops and pubs and restaurants around the city, we're going to show you 3 different spots around the country of Ireland. These are 3 of the spots I feel you must do. And the first stop we're going to do, we're in Dublin, and it's going to be the Guinness factory. Now it is a tour, but we're going to do the restaurant. Heard it's some of the best food around. Let's go see. All right, friends, we are in the iconic Guinness factory. On the 7th floor is a full panoramic view of the city and features a bar. So it gives you 360 degree views of the whole entire city. On the 5th floor is iconic 1837 restaurant. Everything is very inspired by Irish classic dishes. And I ordered the beef stew. All right, friends, how cool is it? We're on a horse and carriage. Marilyn's sitting here with me. We're just leaving the Guinness factory. What would you say about the food?
Marginal.
I would say so too. I had the beef stew, the Guinness beef stew. It was good. Everything's kind of very hearty. Not much taste. It's just like a typical stew that you have here in Ireland. It's made more or less to keep you warm and full rather than like a taste sensation. What'd you have?
It's just very rich.
Yeah.
Very rich.
What'd you have?
Oh, I had some squash, pumpkin, goat cheese.
Yeah, like a roasted pumpkin.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Vegetarian, so it was good.
It was
Anyway, folks, horse and carriage driving through the streets of Dublin, Ireland.
going to the oldest bar.
Going to the oldest bar. The Brazen, right? Brazen Head. So look that one up if you're going to plan on visiting Ireland. We'll see you there. And that was the Brazen Pub. You know, just to set the scene, super cool pub. If you come to Ireland, you definitely want to go there because it has a vibe to it. But just to paint the scene, 1300s Ireland was a city surrounded by limestone walls, white walls. The city was gross. It was very dirty, filthy, no modern day sewage, and pigs roaming the streets, and filth everywhere, human feces everywhere in the streets, people working, doing whatever they can just to make a little bit of money. And at the end of the day, they come into the pub, the first pub in all of Ireland, and I was there. Leaving Dublin, the rhythm of the train settles in, steady, almost reflective. Outside the window, Ireland rolls by in soft greens and quiet beauty, fields stretching endlessly, stone fences, the coastline appearing and disappearing like a memory. It feels peaceful, untouched in a way. But as the journey continues north, there's a subtle shift you can't quite explain. You're heading toward a place with a deeper, more complicated story, one that still echoes beneath the surface. Arriving in Belfast, you feel it. Not heavy, just present. A reminder that even in the most beautiful landscapes, history always travels with you. All right, friends, we have made it to Belfast, Ireland. Now you gotta be careful with Belfast because we're in Northern Ireland, and they're actually, they went through a time called the Troubles, and basically they disconnected from mainland Ireland, and now Northern Ireland is actually part of the UK. So this is a whole different experience. It's a whole different vibe here and a whole different feel. You can feel the old-timiness of Dublin, where here it almost seems modern. We're gonna get a vibe for it and see what we're gonna explore down here in the city. As of right now, welcome to Belfast. Walking through the streets of Belfast feels like stepping between two worlds at once. There's a quiet presence of history here, old brick buildings, weathered corners, stories you can almost feel in the air. But then, just a few steps later, everything shifts. Modern glass, vibrant energy, people spilling out of pubs and stylish bars, laughter echoing down the streets. You pass through food districts filled with incredible smells, local dishes, global flavors, all blending into something uniquely Belfast. And then suddenly, you're standing in sleek, upscale shopping areas where the city feels polished, forward-looking, alive in a completely different way. It's that contrast that makes it special. Belfast doesn't leave its past behind, it carries it forward, right alongside everything new.
Well, why can't you see what you do as a me? When you don't believe a word I say, we can't go out together with suspicious minds.
All right, friends, we're leaving the Jailhouse Bar. Super cool place. It's a jailhouse bar because it used to be a jailhouse back in the 1600s. And so you can see from all the video I took, there's the original rafters and everything like that. And Belfast, back in the 1600s, was kind of interesting. It was a, kind of like a rough settlement. You know, there's only a few hundred people here. And they kind of just did farmland, and the English brought over a lot of people here. And so you can see where the tension started to become more than a dispute, because the English brought people over here. The Irish kind of fought against it, and it became not so much a war, but more like a skirmish. And I think that's where the roots come from, why Northern Ireland is dividing and is still under UK territory. But talking to some people, and let's call this tequila revelations, people are very reluctant to talk about it here. So it's kind of a sticking point. So you have to be really delicate. So you're gonna have to nurture those conversations over many drinks. And it seems like Ireland, let's call it Ireland and North Ireland, they are at turning points in history, I guess. And I'm kind of being a little bit over dramatic about this, but Ireland wants to hold on to the past. Okay, let me preface this. This is my opinion. This is what I've seen. Ireland wants to hold on to the past and the old ways and the old culture, where Northern Ireland is kind of like moving on and it's more progressive. I mean, it feels like we're in a Western city, except it's freaking cold here. Right now it's 46 degrees with the wind chill. Feels like 37. So, um, side point. But it feels like this is a much more progressive city and they're moving forward that direction. And old Ireland doesn't like that. And so there's a split. Um, I know that's kind of on the surface, but going back to the 1600s when England brought people over here and Ireland kind of fought back and it still remained in England control. So I'm thinking the Irish weren't fortunate in that outcome. So it's kind of a weird vibe here. You got to be really careful and tap dance with the people you talk to and how you go about it, because it's still to this day it's a very sensitive subject. And I've never been any place in the world where you have to worry about how you word things as far as when you're in the same country, Northern Ireland, regular Ireland. So yeah, it's different. But as of right now, I kind of prefer Belfast. Ireland is Ireland, and you have a lot of the old ways and pubs, and the people are kind of just battle tested and tried and true. Here it's more like a progressive city where they're moving forward and everything feels new, but new for the first time, not like new. This is been going on for a long time. It feels like they're stepping into the modern day culture, and there's an excitement and an energy in the air. So, my opinion, but yet it's my opinion, folks. All right, friends. So that was Lee Gardens. Definitely, it's someplace that if you know, that type of place. Our hotel concierge put us onto it, and we walked about a mile to get to it. And it opened at 12 o'clock. At 12:10, the place was entirely full, and people were waiting out the door. So yeah, it's one of those places. Food was amazing. We had a little bit of everything sampled with the fried rice, and it was really good. Now, for everything you see on that table, it was $50. So I definitely say it was a good deal. If you're in Belfast and you're into that, I would definitely say make that a stop on your list. Now we're going to head to a place called the Botanical Gardens. I don't know what it's about, but again, it's something that's very popular here. I'm assuming the name says it all, but we're going to go figure it out. Let's go check it out. All right, friends, we have made it to the Botanical Gardens of Belfast. It seems like this is kind of in the center of a college or some type of higher learning school. I mean, we passed a theology camp, and we walked through that for a little bit, and then this is right in the middle of it. So it's very beautiful, very well maintained. So it must be state run or government run or something to that effect. But it's very beautiful here. Let's go see what else it has. And this behind me is the famous Palm House. And there you have it, folks, the Botanical Gardens. Definitely a one and done, but you have to do it while you're here. Very cool. All right, friends, welcome to the Titanic Museum right behind me. For those of you that didn't know, this right now where I'm standing is the birthplace of the Titanic, Belfast, Ireland. So they dedicated a whole museum to it. Let's go have a look. Stepping inside the Titanic Belfast, you're not just walking through a museum, you're stepping into a story. From the moment you enter, you're taken back to the shipyard where the RMS Titanic was built, surrounded by the sounds, the scale, and the ambition of the time. You'll move through the interactive exhibits, detailed reconstructions, and powerful personal stories that bring the people behind the ship to life. And as the journey unfolds, it shifts from innovation and excitement to reflection and remembrance. It's not just about the Titanic itself, It's about the human stories that still resonate long after. And there you have it, the Titanic Museum. Now, let me tell you a couple things about it. Was it worth coming here? I would say absolutely. If you're ever in Belfast, you definitely want to see it because it's a great piece of history. Now, the thing I was disappointed in was the fact that it was very much in the beginning the propaganda of going into the country's pride of building the ship. Then it went into a lot about the shipbuilding process. What it did not cover was the actual incident, which to me was surprising. I mean, it didn't talk really about how fast it took the Titanic to go down, the iceberg, the gash in the side of the ship. So it really lacked on that side of it. And then on the back side, there was a lot of remnants that were recovered from floating, not from deep down below. So again, iconically, Belfast is known for where the Titanic began its life. If you're here, definitely come check it out. And here, friends, we have come to our final stop. And welcome to the Giant's Causeway. Sometime in ancient history, a lava flow caused all of this to be created and form these columns. They say there's about 40,000 of these hexagonal columns that made up this whole landmass all the way to the ocean. I think there's a lot more. Well, friends, that's going to just about wrap up this episode. Now, I originally wanted to bring you to Galway, but plans changed, and so instead of going west to the other side of the island, we're going to go east to Scotland. So we had to take advantage of that. But we did explore Dublin. We did explore Belfast. If you come, you definitely want to put Galway on the agenda. And here's a couple of pictures of the Cliffs of Moher, which is the big draw to Galway. Now, we did explore some food, we explored some culture, we explored some of the many different pubs they have here. Now, the one thing that we did get into is the history, and that's probably the important part. Like I mentioned, Ireland, I mean, for being such a small island, has a very complex and unique history, one that's worth exploring. I'm going to do a walk and talk, so I just felt in this series, in this episode, I couldn't get really deep into it, and I'm learning it as I go, so it wasn't fair to bring you just a quick snapshot of what's going on here. So I'm going to do a little walk and talk about 7 minutes long. Look into that if you want to hear about the history as a whole. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Be safe, be adventurous.